obviously, Reader of the Runes is a long trilogy. It's a long story. It's a story about, vengeance, about traitors and stuff. And I think that the most important thing that we wanted to express with this story is that life can change people.
Aiden, thank you so much for your time today. We're getting very close now to the release of the third and final chapter of Reader of the Ruins. You must be excited and tired at the same time. How are you doing?
Yeah, you're telling right. We are kind of tired. It was a very long journey when we started this adventure. We probably didn't expect it to be so, so from one side it was very exciting. From the other side was very, very very, very intense, I would say. We are working constantly on this trilogy since 2018, basically because we started the songwriting for the first album back in the days. Obviously, COVID-19 played a little bit of role there because the plan were a little bit different. We were supposed to have it done before, but then we were on tour with the first album, Divination, around Europe, and first things about this strange virus were coming to our ears, and this create a gap between the first and the second album of 4 years. And by the way, it is more than 6 years that we are working on this, and as you said, we are kind of tired, and we are very, very happy to be finally at the end of this long adventure.
Yeah. I mean, I've interviewed many bands that have done concept albums, and don't even think about 3 albums tying everything together, but one concept album, and like half of them kind of say like, oh, I love it now, and I will always do a concept album because it helps me, find the music if I know where the story has to go. But at least the other half says after such a big work, and especially if it was like 2 albums, it's like, no, I'm done. I just want to do something completely different. What should we now expect we're going to talk about this new album, obviously, and how the whole story comes together. But if we just allow ourselves to look ahead a little bit more, like, does this mean that the next album is just going to be like 7 short songs that have nothing to do with each other and just doing something completely different?
Absolutely, I think so, because we really cannot wait. We were discussing, during the last tour we did in January, that for sure the next album will be something completely, different, something. We cannot wait to go back to write normal songs without need to be linked to the story, to the atmosphere, to the character, and something like that. So we really cannot wait to go back to write just simple songs, and probably, as you said, there will be maybe easy, straight songs, because we really work a lot on this, and we cannot wait to go back to write songs without being forced to have a story behind. Even if as you told, it's something exciting, and we were thinking about doing a concept album since a lot of years, and we wanted to do it. Yeah.
All the harm you've done, our penance has begun, betrayers to sleep.
Now, what also will have added to just the general fatigue in the band is you guys just did the Paganfest tour, and I should call it tour. It's sort of like a running festival, if you will, with so many bands. That must have been a hectic situation behind the scenes as well. From time to time, that was an epic lineup. I saw the photos. I mean, obviously it was a European run. I didn't get to catch any of those shows, but it seemed like a great shows and good receptions from the audience. How were those shows? Like, how did it go?
Yes, as you said, it was more like a, running festival more than a tour, because
Yeah,
we were five bands generally, but there were some special nights when there were seven bands. So
exactly.
it
Yeah,
was like 53 people, package of running around Europe in three buses and one truck, and it was, as you can imagine, it was pretty pretty
okay.
packed.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
were
yeah.
inside the venues that were pretty big, but just when you are 50 more people inside a venue, it is still difficult to find a free backstage or something like that, and
I bet.
or a free toilet. I don't know when you need to go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everyone is there at the same time. It was pretty intense, but as you saw maybe from the pictures, this Pagan Fest was not running since 9 years in Europe, because it was, it was a pretty big festival back in the days. It was stopped for a number of years, and this is the first, edition of the new Pagan Fest, and
Hmm.
they wanted to make it bigger, better, and the best possible lineup. And in fact, we weren't sure how it will be, received by the people, but it was amazing. Almost every night was sold out, or in the very big venues were packed anyway, and it was it has been great also, because we were with these amazing bands,
Hmm.
great people, great crew. Everything was great.
With arms wide open wide, we took a real welcome home without thinking. Shed light.
The reception of this pagan fest almost kind of like brings back memories of how like the crowds were dying to see you again in this in North America, in the States particularly. I remember ProgPower 2023,
Yeah.
even though I wasn't there, but many friends that did go, and I followed the crowd's reactions and whatnot. Elven King was like the band people really wanted to see that festival. That must
Exactly.
have been a really cool experience. Obviously, we're all waiting for you guys to come back with big tours and whatnot. I know it's not easy, and I know that visas these days are insanely expensive and all that kind of stuff. But having had shows like that, like Prague Power, where people want to come celebrate this pagan experience, this European roots experience, if you will, in the States. Have you had other experiences like that where in parts of the world that you, because I know you've played, obviously, you've played a lot in Europe, but you've played also in other places in the world, South America, you've played several shows.
Yeah.
Does that still, like after all these years, surprise you that people that, have really nothing to do with a European pagan, roots or mindset, that people are really, really excited about it and really into it? Does that still surprise you? Because you've been doing this for a long time now.
Yeah. You know what? The US experience we had was the most exciting experience, because, here in the US, here in Europe, there is this voice like, okay, US is not a metal country anymore, North
Hmm.
America. We know that Canada is more a metal country, but when we came to the US, to Prog Power, for example, and then we did one full month with Alestorm around US and Canada. The reaction was mind blowing, really,
Yeah.
because as you said, maybe you can expect that kind of music like ours, with strong roots into European folklore,
Hmm.
traditional music, and stuff like that, maybe would not be so welcome in your countries. But instead, first of all, it's not true what they are saying in Europe, because also there all venues were packed, and the Canadian part of the tour was insane, because Toronto, Vancouver, I remember they were absolutely crazy,
Yeah, yeah,
sold
yeah.
out shows with packed with people, and especially a lot of love for us as well, for a band like us. So it was insane. Canada was the most amazing experience. But to be sincere, also the USA territories were incredibly good for us. There were a lot of people that were there saying, "Okay, we were waiting for you since 20 years or something."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And going to ProgPower, where that a lot of the crowd come from different
Right.
parts of the States or from Canada or from South America, is one thing. But then going to I don't know, Detroit or Spokane or some some cities that we don't even know where they are, for
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
example.
We also
Uh,
don't know where Spokane is. Don't worry.
yeah, exactly. I
Just
don't
kidding to all the
remember
people
other.
watching from Spokane right now.
Because the funny thing is that we did the B territories of US and a lot of like 7 days in Canada in place that except maybe Vancouver, Toronto, we don't know the rest,
Mhm.
and it was, reaction where it was amazing and incredible. And as you said, it happened that we went to I don't know, South America or Japan, where Nordic folk, European folk is something that it's even strange, probably
Yeah, yeah,
stranger
yeah.
for them. But we didn't expect, to be sincere, this great thing from Canada and US.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, you played a beautiful venue in Toronto as well, right? The
Yeah,
renewed ballroom. That's a gorgeous
yeah, it
spot.
was
More and more
amazing.
shows are happening there, and it's a venue where David Bowie played.
Oh,
Motorhead,
yeah,
Metallica played there back in the day.
and it was amazing, amazing venue
Yeah,
from,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
it was sold out, so it was wow.
Yeah, 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 that's fantastic. Hope obviously that you will be back soon. There's still some room because you've had this tour. There's a bunch of summer festivals announced for European summer, which
Yep.
we always expect. Um, uh, Maybe a double question first. What can we expect from those shows where, festival shows are always a little bit limited in what you can do, and you've got this trilogy that you can finally properly celebrate, but you also have your hits now. Like you've got quite a few songs that almost every time you play a show, there's going to be a good amount of people really expecting you to play. So maybe first question, what you would expect from those festival shows, but then as a follow-up, there's plenty of time still before those festivals and after those festivals this year. What can we keep our eyes open for?
Yeah, about the set list, after so many years of being in the scene, it's becoming, difficult and
Impossible.
difficult. Yeah. As you said, nowadays we have at least 50% of the set list already set, carved in stone by the songs that people want to hear. So that those songs that you cannot play, especially in the festivals, where maybe there are people that don't know you, so you need to play those songs that that maybe people knows from Spotify, or
Yeah, yeah.
maybe also the people that are not into the music can appreciate, and we have experience through many years of live shows, and we know that they're working. So let's say that at least half of the set list is set, and then we need to play some of the new stuff from the latest album, so other 3 4 songs. So what is left in the end is really a short amount of songs that usually we take for ourselves, and maybe we can cut
Yeah.
some deep cuts from the past, and maybe songs that we like to play. But especially when you go to play in festival, summer festival, when you have maybe 45 minutes, 1 hour, or something like that, usually the set list is already, it's written
Set.
itself. Yeah, it's already
Yeah,
done.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
about the future, as you said, we have a number of summer festival, pretty good ones in Europe. We will probably go back to Japan, because it was one of the things that was in the schedule when COVID-19 struck the world, and we needed to cancel it, delete the tour there, and we can finally go back. And we had a number of proposal for US tour. So we cannot do this year because we already did this very long Paganfest tour, but 2026, I think that will be the right time to go back. to come
All
back
right.
there, Canada and US for sure.
You know, once the album is out on April 11th, a lot of people are gonna, especially the fans, are gonna be like all over it and this dissect every detail, because this is the epic conclusion of a big story. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of answers in this album, and I'm not gonna spoil anything for anybody watching this because this will come out before the album's out. But you know, from a lyrical perspective, let me ask you this: given that these three albums, this whole saga, came to life over quite a long time, and I know that obviously there's going to be stuff on this album that's much older than just a year. But how has the writing evolved in your perspective for this album? Like, is ELVENKING? We live in a world that is so politicized and that is so tribal, and everybody's always giving their opinion about everything. And I find it that bands that traditionally stay out of that and want to have completely different storytelling, also, like, you know, some of that starts seeping in as well, and we find more metaphor. When we think about ELVENKING and this trilogy, is it pure escapism, or can people start to scratch the surface and dissect lyrics and find metaphors or commentary, if you will, on the world as it is?
Well, ELVENKING has always been a band of, we're writing about fantasy world, fantasy characters and everything that was based on that. But it has always been a metaphor to express ourselves. That has always been. Sometimes it's a little bit more hidden. Sometimes it's a little bit more clear. But we just want to express ourselves through a word of fantasy, a word of mysticism and esotericism and stuff like that. Still, we never wanted to be a political band. We don't want to have nothing to do with our personal opinion about the world. I always believed that music needs to be an escape from nowadays reality. At least it was for me when I was a teenager. Music for me was coming back home after school and sit down with the headphones, the lyrics, and go deep into a world of fantasy where it could have been a kind of a haven or a refuge from the everyday life. So we never wanted to be a political band or something that we have our opinions, but we don't want it to be mixed with our music lyrics and stuff. Still, we want to express ourselves, and it's more about our feelings, our emotions. It's all about that one. It's a kind of a poetry thing about how you can live your life, how can you feel yourself in this world, still being away from politician and nowadays world. Obviously, Reader of the Runes is a long trilogy. It's a long story. It's a story about vengeance, about traitors and stuff. And I think that the most important thing that we wanted to express with this story is that life can change people. Experience in life. What you experience in your life with the people you meet, with the action you're doing, everything can bring something to yourself, and in the bad or in the good, you will change from what you were when you were a child, a young child.
Yeah. But people need to stay open for other people's perspectives and continue to learn and grow. Let's say. In order maybe of changing over time, I'm going to use that as a bit of a segue into a question to wrap us up. Looking at the big picture and how things have changed over time. The 30th anniversary of the band is getting closer and closer and closer. I mean, I don't want to make you feel old right now, but it is a fact. And I mean, we also had last year, obviously, the 10th anniversary for the Pagan Manifesto. I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think that I saw any official 10th anniversary reissue or re-release and stuff like that. So for a band like ELVENKING, like these kinds of milestones, like are they important to you? Like should we expect some sort of big celebration?
Let's say that
What's important for you?
you arrive in a moment of your career where every year you should you should
You can
you have
celebrate
a 10
something.
years anniversary, 10 years of this and that. Obviously, when you say that the Pagan Manifesto was 10 years old, I think that was the most important album for our career. It's the most
I'd say so, yeah.
yeah, the most
That changed everything.
yeah, it changed a lot. We went back. There was a period of our time in the band when we experimented a lot. We went to different sounds with albums like The Side, Red Sun and Tides and stuff like that. And then with the Pagan Manifesto, we decided, okay, we need to go back to what was this band in the very beginning, the same philosophy, the same idea, the same visual concept, everything like that. And basically me and Damna, the singer, decided that from that point on, we wouldn't have experimented more. We wanted to stay, to fix some musical rules for the band, and not to write everything that came to our mind at the band. So that was a milestone for us, and it is the most most streamed, sold, the biggest album we did. And so, as you said, we didn't did anything specifically for that album, which is pretty strange, but probably we're gonna do something for the 15th anniversary or something. But as I told you, every time is okay. Now it's another 10 years anniversary. That's another thing, and so on. So I don't know. We try to do something. For example, for the 20 years of the first album, Hidden Reel, we started to shoot a very important documentary, and then for some reason it stopped, and now we are working on that again for the 25th anniversary. So yeah, it's always something that we want to do, but there is so many things that we need to work on that we sometimes forgot.
Exactly, and to completely freak you out, in a few years, it's the 10th anniversary for the first Reader of the Ruins. So that's that's gonna come faster than you think. But in the meantime, we know that there's going to be obviously all these crazy festival shows. We've got the new album coming. There's going to be likely a tour in Japan to make up for COVID, and then we here in North America can keep our fingers crossed for next year to see you guys come. And by the time, you might even already have a new album with all these short songs that are super easy, and that you can all sing along to. Aiden, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It's an exciting time for you and the band, and I can't wait to see where this journey goes next.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure conversation, and it's always great to talk to people like you.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.